Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto returned to Konoha after 12 years of hidden training with Kushina Uzumaki. Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Inside the shower, Kushina felt cold water spray down upon her body and rethink the event that just happened today. First, she had gotten too excited and finally kissed Naruto. Second, she was unprepared that Naruto would be able to awaken the Uchiha bloodline from Miko's side soon, as it was quite rare to have a half-blood Uchiha to active Sharingan. She has heard that some main clan members did face difficulty to awaken their bloodline and some may even get kicked out of the clan for being unable to awaken their bloodline. After refreshing herself, Kushina steps out of the water and puts on a robe before heading out the bathroom. After she decided to make some dinner, mostly ramen, for herself and Naruto, Kushina walked toward the kitchen. When she reached the front door of the kitchen, she could hear someone humming happily in the kitchen while cooking. Full of curiosity, Kushina decided to peeking out from the door and saw a very cheerful Naruto who seemed to be in a good mood. "Naru-chan, why are you so happy?" Kushina asked after she walked into the kitchen, as her son is in an unusually good mood now and from the looks of the dining table it looks like that he had finished preparing the dinner for both of them. "Ka-sama, you know exactly why, but I am in an even better mood because I was being told that most fresh graduate genin team are being stuck on doing D-rank mission while I have been personal trained by you and be one step closer to achieve my dream." Naruto explained happily as he set the bowls of ramen onto the table. "Naru-chan, every genin began with D-rank missions and I did too when I was your age." Kushina replied as she recalled the day she was still genin and being taught by both Minato and Miko-ne-chan. I know, and I am very happy for being taught by a wonderful sensei such as you, Ka-sama," Naruto said cheerfully, as he hugs Kushina tightly and makes Kushina to blush a bit while also feeling happy for being able to teach her Naru-chan. "Thanks, Ka-sama, I love you." "I love you too, Naru-chan. Now let's have our dinner, shall we?" That smell good," both Uzumaki said in unison, making the Uzumaki mansion filled with joy and laughter all night long. The next morning Kushina prepared herself like usual. She dressed in all black except for her green Junin vest and put her hair back into a ponytail before heading out the door. Today she will be teaching Naruto more about how to spar with seal art technique, as a truth seal master will not only know about how to use the seal to seal or store things but to create seals to battle. "Morning, Ka-sama," Naruto greeted her happily as he has finished his breakfast and was waiting for Kushina at the couch while examining the seal he had prepared in his pocket. "Good morning, Naru-chan, I see you have quite prepared for our training," Kushina replies teasingly as she hugs her son from behind and accidentally presses her closely to the boy's back. "Ka-sama, hee, let's go out then," Kushina said rather playfully and walked out the house with Naruto following right beside her. Training Ground 9. Upon the arrival of both Uzumakis, they were surprised to find out that their own team's training ground was being filled with other genin teams unlike usual, which there won't be anyone to bother them since the training ground is quite far away. Among the genin teams there are some counselors, clan heads and civilians, but most importantly the third Hokage was presented as well at the training ground. "Kushina-san, over here," exclaimed a rather happy Yuhi Kurenai while waving happily to the Uzumakis. She was also presented in the training ground with her team. There were also several teams presented like Team 7 which led by John and Kakashi, who's unsurprisingly that their team leader hasn't shown up yet, Team 8 led by Kurenai, Team 10 that led by Asuma, Team Guy that lead by the Green Beast, which being the most energetic group that has been yelling youth and doing push-up all the time. "Glad you are here, Uzumaki-san," the old Hokage said with a smile after he noticed the arrival of Team 9. "Hokage-sama, what's going on here?" I don't recall that I received any notice about there will be an event held at my team's training ground today. Kushina asked with a bit annoyed but hid it well, as she wasn't sure what was happening around her team training ground, while the third Hokage just smiled warmly at her like a grandfather and replied. The clan heads and counselors have decided to inspect our future shinobi generation. Since today is the 100th birthday, I am not sure of it XD of the second Hokage, I see no reason to against their suggestion. Sorry I am late, there's a black cat in. Liar! Exclaimed all members of Team 7 as this earns several snickers from other genin teams, while has the old Hokage sigh in defeat. Well, I think that's all genin teams, so let's begin today's event. Hiruzen stated, which only increased more questions for Kushina, but just when she tried to state her mind, she felt Kurenai pull on her jacket. Hokage-sama told us that the council decided to see the training result in all our genin teams. Since this year we have many heir and heiress among the teams, so they wished to inspect each genin on what have they learnt so far. Oh, and why didn't I get any notice? Well, we were also informed this morning that the decision was being made suddenly. I have heard from Hokage-sama's secretary that the decision was only made this morning and the counselor was all in the favor to inspect the grow of that certain boy. Whisper Kurenai quietly and point her finger toward Team 7. Following her finger, Kushina immediately know what the counselors were up to, and have the crimson hair Uzumaki to curse those greedy counselors, as their aim is only toward Sasuke boy. They only want to have a Sasuke personal performance show, while all the members from other group may just be the punching back for him. If she also informs her earlier, she may not come to training ground 9 today. After the death of Minato, the power of counselor has been at a loose end. The civil counselor has not only taken control of the Namikaze but also the Uchiha seat, and she even heard some rumors that they wished to control both Uzumaki and Senju seats also. Most civilian counselor that was formed up by businessman woman didn't treat shinobi with respect but only treat Konoha shinobi as their personal toy. They used jonin to do their dirty work, used chunin to steal information from their competitor, and used genin as toy in the gladiator ground, enjoying the younger generation kill each other while have their wallet full. Alright then, since we have so many genin teams present, how about we decide the battle with numbers? Now each team leader please come forward and pick a number from the box. Third Hokage said nicely, as each team leader moves forward to the box and picks up a folded paper from the box. No matter how much Kushina hates this, but she can only proceed as ordered. She knew clearly that most counselors are just interested in the so-called great and powerful Sharingan. Seriously though, before the Uchiha clan being wiped out, those counselors have demanded more than enough time to limit the power of the Uchiha clan and refuse to have any business relationship with the Uchiha, forming a total isolated circle for the Uchiha, just like treating a lion in a cage. And now so-called Uchiha kisser were all the one that responsible for the Uchiha clan betrayal. Kushina didn't know whether those bastard felt guilty for the destroyed of Uchiha clan, or they just want to have another powerful shinobi that can rival first Hokage to be under their control. Kakashi. 1. Kushina. 2. Kurenai. 5. Guy. 6. Asuma. 3. So it has been decided. The first match will be Team Kakashi versus Team Kushina. The old Hokage stated and had Kushina raise up her hand. Hokage-sama, isn't it unfair for my team? As my team only consists of 1 student while Team Kakashi has 3 students. Kushina questioned, but before the old Hokage can make any suggestion he was quickly interrupted by one of the elder Koharu. Uzumaki-san, we strongly believe that your team has the ability to stand up against other team. You are the best seal master Konoha can offer, and if your student fails, it only means that he is not worthy for your time, and we shall help you to get new genin into your team. Koharu replied, which surprised both the Hokage and Kushina and made the said Uzumaki clench her fist tightly while trying to control her temper. So that's those have in their mind to let Naruto-chan single-handle 3 genins or force me to give up training Naruto-chan. Counselor Koharu, today's event should be a fair duel between team, not some kind of gang fighting. I will kindly have another 2 members from other team to join in. Replied the old Hokage, as he just thought that this was just a wrong statement from his fellow counselor, but soon the reality has slapped his face real hard. No, I agree on Counselor Koharu's suggestion. I agree, were the sound from the civilian counselors. Even with such unfair pairing, they gave less care about the fairness, as who were they kidding? They have put lots of their money on the Uchiha, and it is better that the boy doesn't lose. Well, genins, please prepare yourself and go into the preliminaries circle. The lone-eye old war hawk stated. He has been inspecting the whole scene quietly until now. He didn't want the argument to continue on. For his own perspective, he has nothing to lose. If the Uchiha win, the counselor will be more likely to side with him, seeing that he acted in their interest. If the Uzumaki brat wins, which seems impossible, he can make the prideful Uchiha leave the current shinobi team and join his root program. Watching Team 7 has walked into the preliminar, Kushina tries to make another argument but feels Naruto's hand gently pat on her shoulder. Don't worry, sensei, I won't lose. Naruto assured her with determination, and looking into the eyes of her son, Kushina saw the shadow of her hero Namikaze Minato, like father like son. Naruto now shares the same gaze, just like Minato when someone dares to threaten his family. And with that gaze, Minato never ever loses any battle. Please be careful then, Naruto, Kushina said, as she knows that there is no point to argue with her son anymore after he had made up his mind, and now she just has to be confident in his abilities. You are going down this time, dope. The Inuzuka heir mocked with a snicker and stood right beside his teammates, the last Uchiha heir Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura. Ready, begin, Danzo declared. Once the signal was given, Kiba quickly rushed toward Naruto with his claws aiming to his head, which the blonde simply sidestepped to evade the advancement of Kiba while pulling out his own kunai to counter the kunai barrage sent by Sasuke. Watching that his surprise attack fail, the Uchiha quickly pulled out another kunai and reverse grabbed it before he rushed toward the blonde boy and delivered a barrage of attacks. Stay still, you dope, the Inuzuka yelled angrily, as his several attempts to cut off his opponent's head failed, with the blonde simply sidestep every time while focused on dealing with the Uchiha, which only made the Inuzuka even angrier. Get out of my way, Inu, the prideful Uchiha ordered, as he jumped backward and pulled out a scroll. With a sound of "pof," barrage of kunais were sent toward the direction of Naruto and Kiba. Clank, clank, clank. Are you trying to kill me, you jerk? The Inuzuka yelled furiously, as he almost got shot by kunais sent by his teammate. If not, Naruto quickly kicked him away before the attack. Elite doesn't need any help, was all Sasuke replied before he once again rushes toward Naruto. Like hell you are an elite, yelled the Inuzuka, and once again crouching down and has his fang grow longer. Fang over fang, Kiba exclaimed as he turned himself into a small tornado, rushing toward both Naruto and Uchiha. Sensing the incoming attack, both ninjas decided to kick off the land by performing a backflip to dodge the attack. However, not all genin can perform a backflip. Yet, the poor Sakura has to be one of those whose physical training has not developed much since graduation. She may be the most brilliant in class, but when it comes to real combat, she always imagines her Sasuke-kun will protect her in shining armor. Currently in front of her was a wind tornado formed by his teammate rushing straight toward her. Clank. The predicted hit didn't landed on Sakura. With a loud clashing sound of metal, Kiba tornado was being directed to another direction, and Sakura was safe but not being rescued by the hero in her mind by rather it was the blonde Uzumaki came in her aid while has his hand bleeding for blocking a wind tornado directly. Are you trying to kill your own teammate? Naruto yelled angrily toward both Uchiha and Inuzuka. HNG, no one tells her to stand like a log at there. If she gets her it probably because of her own carelessness. Kiba replied like it was never his fault. Quite. Teamwork. Your team have, Kakashi. Kushina mocked dryly while trying her best not to jump into the battlefield and send the Inuzuka flying as he dared to hurt her precious Naru-chan. Sakura. Get away from. Shut up Baka. I didn't need your help. Sasuke-kun would be the one to save me if not because of you. Instead of giving thanks to the one who just saved her, Naruto was being hit by a punch in the face by Sakura as she still thought it was because of Naruto interference that caused her Sasuke-kun to fail saving her in time. Haha, serve you right, trying to flirt with a girl. Kiba mocked while laughing hard and the Uchiha also stood there while watching the rather hilarious event that just happened in front of him. TCH. Naruto hisses in pain as he uses his still bleeding hand to wipe away the blood on his mouth while quickly dodging Sakura's second punch before knocking Sakura out with the back of his kunai, and the so-called kunoichi of the year fell unconscious rather quickly. Haha, why wouldn't you say something dope? Too afraid to say anything? Or perhaps you want to hide under the skirt of your sensei? Watching the injuries that the blonde got only make the Inuzuka mocked even loudly, and this earns several genin team leaders to look toward Kakashi, who just lowers his head in shame. Quote, I should be the student of Kushina-chan as I am the alpha, and a beauty like her should only be deserved by an alpha and not a dope like you. The Inuzuka mocked loudly, which unknown to him, his mother Sume was also present as well. The said woman had her fist clenched tightly in anger and shame. Being the heir of Inuzuka, has given too much privilege to Kiba, as almost everything he wants will be given to him by his clan, and now he thought that he should claim Kushina as well. Don't you? Kushi-chan, I will forgive you, even you have spread your legs to some random man and to give birth dope, and once I defeat him, you will know who is the one really deserve you. Don't you? The blonde mumbled out in a very low voice with his lower that no one could see his face. Time to end this. Fang over fang. Kiba exclaimed once more, as he turned into a small tornado, rushing toward Naruto, who has his kunai clenched tightly in his hand and has his blood streaming down his arm. Just when the tornado almost reaches the blonde. Don't you ever dare to insult Ka-sama! Roared Naruto angrily, as in that moment his ocean blue eyes turn into crimson color with 3 tomos. In a sudden he vanishes in front of Kiba, and next thing happens was the tornado was being hit by something hard and crashed into the earth, creating a thick dust cloud. Thinking that the blonde may been hurt, the Uchiha quickly rushed into the dust cloud and flashing hand signs. Fire, release great fireball, the Uchiha exclaimed, but due to the dust cloud, the audience can only see a fireball was created and soon vanish, but among the dust cloud they suddenly spotted a pair of crimson eyes suddenly appear, and with a sound of bone breaks, the eyes disappear and reappear again with another bone cracking sound. Uchiha-sama has awakened his Sharingan. The counselors roared happily as their gambling had higher hope of winning with the Uchiha awoke his Sharingan, but unlike the civilian counselor, the shinobi clan head, Junin, were unsurprised, or in better terms not feeling much excitement for Uchiha to awaken his bloodline. No, that didn't seem like Sasuteme's Sharingan, was the inner thought of Kushina as she inspected closely on the eyes. Within the dust cloud, the dust has limited the vision of both male members of Team 7, they can't even see a thing inside the dust cloud and can only guess where the blonde was and throw their kunai toward that direction. Crack. Ah! Kiba yelled in pain as he was being hit directly in the stomach and sent him flying. Show yourself! Sasuke yelled angrily, but when he heard a loud sound coming from his right, he immediately threw another barrage of kunai toward there. Thinking that the blonde is going to attack from there, but instead all of his kunai was directly hit on the flying Inuzuka. Looking for me? Asked a voice suddenly appeared behind Sasuke, and when he swung his kunai around, he missed, and next thing he knows is that someone kicked rather hard on his abdomen. With the awakening of his bloodline, Naruto can see the movement of his opponents clearly. After he releases the training seal on his body, his speed increases tremendously. In simplified terms, those two other genins can't even follow up his movement until they are hit. Show yourself. Fire release. Great fireball. The enraged Uchiha roared as he breathed out a large fireball, but hatred must have clouded his mind as he didn't think twice before he released the fireball. The fire that he performed was flying directly toward the direction of Hokage and the counselors. Wind release. Great breakthrough. The blonde Uzumaki exclaimed, forming a large wind blade and cutting the fireball in half before it hit the audience. With now the cloud of dust being blown off, the one who still seems fine and standing in the field is not the one that most counselors expected, but the proud student of Kushina. Yield, Naruto stated as he looked at his opponent, while his still bleeding hand struggled to hold a kunai. His opponents are in much worse shape than him, as Kiba has one leg broken and the Uchiha has his arm broken. You damn dope. Kiba, don't. The elder sister of Kiba yelled in terror as she looked at her brother, who once again applied all his chakra into his hands and legs. Fang over fang, exclaimed Kiba and turns into a tornado charge forward, but the thing shocked the audience more is fire release. Great fireball. Without any care for his teammate while Kiba charging toward the blonde Uzumaki, the Uchiha also breathed out a fireball aiming toward the blonde, but instead hitting on the blonde. The fireball collided with the charging tornado first. Normal people will definitely dodge this kind of attack, but not for Naruto. Instead of running away like everyone will do, the blonde just stands his ground and waits for the charging tornado. When the tornado is close enough, a seal appears in his hand and immediately the tornado changes direction and follows the movement of Naruto's hand to turn a circle before it charges toward the direction of Uchiha. Watching the burning tornado with horror, the Uchiha quickly jumped out of the way, but strangely the tornado was like being attracted by him. It also changed its direction and aimed straight forward at the Uchiha. And unknown to the Uchiha, when Naruto last punched him, he has also applied a gravity seal on the back of the Uchiha, and Kiba's also has one on his body, as this caused both members of Team 7 turns into magnet-like and boom. Uchiha-sama, Kiba, Sochi. The counselors and the Inuzuka clan heads family yelled in horror as they quickly rush into the circle before the Hokage declared the winner. Laying on the floor unconscious are both Uchiha and Inuzuka Kiba, as the Uchiha chest was hit directly and caused him to have several bones to break, and the Inuzuka was in worse shape as he has third-degree burn and has his leg bones broken. Fu, Naruto, are you okay? Kushina asked as she also quickly rushed toward her Naru-chan. Yeah, I am fine thanks sense. Sorry Naru-chan, but this will hurt a bit. Whisper Kushina quietly just beside Naruto as she temporarily seals off the chakra of Naruto and causes him to fall unconscious. Hokage-sama, I think that shall be all for my team, as my students has overuses his chakra and in no shape to continue his fight. Kushina said, and caused the Hokage to turn his attention toward the crimson hair Uzumaki. Oh, but, and judging by the scene which my student is the last one who's still able to stands, I thinks that my student has to be worthy for my teaching. Then I will now take my leave then, and Hokage-sama, please do consider the well-being of your shinobi first next time. Kushina stated without giving any chances for the old Hokage to make his reply, and before she shunshin away she heard the voice of Sume Inuzuka apologize to her. Sigh. Kakashi, I may need to have a talk with you. The third old Hokage said with a sigh, as he thought that Team 7 will be working quite well and may be the strongest team in this generation, since both Kiba and Sasuke can be powerhouses. Not to mention with the help of both family bloodlines, Inuzuka clans Fang over Fang and Uchiha's Sharingan, plus Sakura healing ability, and also the brain of the whole team. Do I really get too old to let the counselor alter my decision? The old Hokage thought while recalling the event that just happened. Uzumaki Mansion. Several hours later evening. Naru-chan, Naru-chan. Ka-sama. The blonde asked as he slowly opened up his eyes and found out that he is in his own room and has his arms covered in bandages with his mother just staying beside him. Thank God you are awake. Kushina exclaimed happily as she proceeded to hug her son tightly. I am sorry Naru-chan, I accidentally uses the seal that used to seal of tailed beast's chakra to temporary seal off yours. Kushina apologizes as she quickly checks on the chakra pulse of Naruto and finds out that everything is fine. Thank God. Ka-sama, why did you seal off my chakra? Naru-chan, try to apply chakra into your eyes and looks into the mirror. Kushina suggested that, full of questions, Naruto still applied his chakra into his eyes and took the small mirror that was given by Kushina and looked into it. This is. Yup. Congratulations Naru-chan, you have successfully awakened your Sharingan and with 3 tomos no less. Exclaimed a happy Kushina while her son was still in shock seeing that he has awakened something that it may not seem possible but that also means. Ka-sama, does this mean my father is an Uchiha? Naruto asked and this immediately surprised Kushina as she was shocked that Naruto would suddenly give her such difficult questions to answer. What should I do? I don't think Naru-chan is ready to take the last name of Minato-kun but I don't want to lie to Naru-chan. Kushina thought in panic as she quickly thought of ways to answer Naruto's question. Naru-chan, Kushina said, as she softly pat on Naruto's head and whisper at his ear. Sorry Naru-chan, you are not ready to know who is your father but I can assure you that he is a great hero and a hero who wished to save the world. Whisper Kushina gently and softly around Naruto's ear and the blonde can only nod as understanding as no point to force his Ka-sama to tell him. Naru-chan, how about you go to take a bath first? I will prepare your reward, as to celebrate your victory against Team 7 Inches. Okay. Said Naruto as he got up from his bed. Oh and Naru-chan, please remember not to activate your Sharingan in front of other teams or shinobi of Konoha as it will be a lot of trouble if they find out that you have the Sharingan. Kushina said and had Naruto return with a nod before he went out of the room. Bathroom. Ah. This is the best. Mumbled the blonde to himself as he sits in the bathtub while enjoying the hot water comfortably. I really wonder who my father is. Or who I inherited my Sharingan from. I wonder if I have Sharingan. Does that also mean that I can copy other shinobi art like Kakashi? Thought Naruto to himself while trying to remember the fight scene against Team 7. Wait, Naruto thought as he could remember the hand sign of the great fireball that Sasuke used clearly. Naru-chan, are you in there? I am coming in. But before Naruto could get excited about his new ability, the door of the bathroom was suddenly being opened by his mom who was wearing only a towel to cover up her gorgeous body. Special thanks to XX-san for helping me in this scene XD. Ka-sama, Naru-chan, are you happy with your reward? Come here, I will wash you back. Said Kushina teasingly while has the blonde's face to be burning bright red and can only look at his mother's gorgeous body without too many clothes to cover up, from her beautiful face to her gorgeous and large to her round and big rear and finally her long and slim legs. Earth to Naru-chan, can you read me, over? Teased Kushina playfully as she softly poked on Naruto's forehead and brought him back to reality. Hee. Come out of the bathtub Naru-chan, I will help you to wash your back. Said Kushina while Naruto quickly climbed out of the bathtub and sit right straight with his face trying to not look at his mother's body. Naru-chan, although I am proud of your actions today but seriously Naru-chan, you cannot risk yourself like that ever again, you hear me? The next time I see you like that I am going to punish you Databane. Said Kushina scolding Naruto for hot-headed actions at the spar earlier. Though, she can't help but feel happy inside seeing Naruto fighting to protect her honor. But it's still bad charging ahead straight into the battle without thinking. Somewhat cute too. No, what was she thinking? It was definitely dangerous. Yes Ka-sama, but they said that you are a Whore. Naruto said with anger in his tone as his Sharingan was unconsciously being active again and had his hand clutch into a fist. Naru-chan, I am glad that you would protect my honor, and I know that they were saying bad stuff about me. That happens all the time, but I can take care of that myself. Your mother is an awesome kunoichi, is she not? Chided Kushina as she softly patted on Naruto's head with happiness filling her voice. And Naru-chan, as for today's reward, you are not allowed to look directly at me, but I will allow you to look into there. Said Kushina as Naruto follows the direction where Kushina pointed and found a large mirror. But the most important part is, when the second Kushina saw Naruto look into the mirror, she decided to discard her tower and left her bare. In that moment Naruto almost has his eyes fly out from his socket as he can't believe what he just witnessed. With the mirror he can almost get a full view of Kushina's body, with her huge mounds moving up and down in rhythm with her breathing. Her pink nipples are somehow erect while washing his strong back. Ops, I dropped the sponge, can you help me to get it? Asked Kushina with a smile as with his shaky hands Naruto slowly reached for the sponge, but before he touched it, he felt something soft was pressed tightly onto his back. Glup. The feeling is so wonderful as the things are so soft and bouncy. With excitement and nervousness the blonde slowly raises his gaze and looks into the mirror. Naru-chan, do you like the sponge I used to wash your back? Asked Kushina. As for Naruto, he almost passed out from nose blood as his thought was right. The sponge that Kushina uses to wash his back are none other than her huge soft mounds that are currently rubbing up and down of his back. All done. Naru-chan, can you kindly help me to wash my back? Asked Kushina as she turns over and has her back facing Naruto. Once again with shaking hands the blonde slowly applies shampoo onto the sponge and moves up and down on Kushina's milky white back. In that moment Naruto is moving his body very carefully so as not to accidentally brush his rod against his mother's smooth white back. He marveled at how, despite having huge physical prowess, her body still feels soft to his touch. He kneaded his hand around her shoulder, hoping that he was doing a good job at massaging her shoulder when he felt her tense muscle relax and a soft moan escaped his mother's lips. That was great, Naru-chan, you're surprisingly talented in this. Would you consider open a massage shop when you become an adult? Asked Kushina as she was astonished at his skills. I mean, I don't think so, Ka-sama. I still want to be the strongest shinobi there ever is, Datbeo. Answered Naruto as he almost lost his mind in that second as the view in front of him is too beautiful. I believe that you can achieve your dream. After all, you're my student. Thanks, Ka-sama, that means a lot to me. Naruto said while blushing. Since you did a great job for washing my back earlier, I'll give you one more reward. Declared Kushina as she suddenly turned around and hugged Naruto, pushing his head between her. Here, have a taste of these twins. Said the crimson-haired Uzumaki with a teasing tone as there are still some bubbles covering her body, but moreover she looks more in her current state. As Kushina slowly raises her right leg signaling Naruto to have a taste of it, his mind only fills with the beautiful in front of him. Naruto quickly on her pink nipple without any mercy and had his left hand moved up and grabbed her right and stated fondling it. Not so tough. Mouned Kushina as this makes Naruto give more into his desire as he begins to and fondle Kushina more furiously. As for Kushina, she unconsciously begins to rub her thighs together. Almost losing to his desire, the blonde slowly moves his left hand away and slowly travels along the slim stomach of Kushina and goes all the way down. But when he almost reached the more holy place of Kushina he was suddenly stopped by Kushina letting go of him. Naru-chan, that's wonderful, but I don't think it the time for you to touch me at there. Said Kushina teasingly as she looks into Naruto's eyes with love and passion. Let's finish our bath and have dinner, ya. Naru-chan. That night, after saying good night, Kushina went directly into her room and closed the door behind her. But when the door was close shut, "Ah, what have I done?" yelled a blushing Kushina while rolling on her bed while hugging her pillow tightly. "HNG, isn't that what you want? But I don't think that my other self would be so bold. TCH, I can't never understand you human. You are the one who requested me to seal away your fear temporary and now you are feeling scared about something you want. Kurama, whatever," the giant demon nine-tailed fox said with a smirk before he cut off the link he shares with Kushina and put an additional claw mark on the wall before he happily went to sleep. Kushina -0, KURAMA2. A week had passed since the friendly spar with Team 7 and soon not after the spar ended. A lot has happened since then. First, Kushina was being summoned to the council. As she fully expected, the council was quite mad at her student for hurting their last precious Uchiha heir who holds the most powerful Dujutsu in the elemental nations. As for Kushina, she didn't really care how much damage the Uchiha boy had received from the match, as she knew well that the counselors did not truly care for the boy since they only treated the boy as their most powerful tool to help them earn more money. She was also quite aware the fact that behind the mask of those counselors, know or unknown about her identity, they were still aware of her status of Kyuubi's Jinchuriki had live in the wall. If she decides to leave Konoha, most counselor would probably beg the third Hokage to bring her back. Until the end of the meeting, there was no punish given by the third Hokage, even though the civilian counselors strongly suggested that the third Hokage to disband Team 9 and rearrange other students to Kushina teams, but their suggestion was immediately turned down by the third Hokage with the threat of throwing several leading civilian out the meeting. Second, Kushina had continued the training she planned for Naruto, while slowly increasing the intensity as the awaken of Naruto bloodline may cause even more trouble to them now. It is lucky that Naruto only awakened his Uchiha bloodline alone. For now, she has heard from the elder in Uzumaki that the Namikaze bloodline may be more destructive, but that may be just rumor as there isn't any famous Namikaze known to the world except Minato. Not to mention, Kushina and Naruto had been running around Konoha doing D-rank missions. Sometimes it would just be the two of them on the mission and other times they would be joining one of the other teams from Naruto's years. Which annoyed Naruto to no end, but he still managed to learn lots of stuff after the mission was over. During Kushina's younger age, she used to stay in Uchiha clan head houses when she was with Minato. Thus she still managed to unlock the seal formula of the clan head's library during midnight and secretly retrieve some scroll about Sharingan from the Uchiha district to Naruto. Today, we found Kushina and Naruto making their way toward the Hokage Tower with the said young blonde holding a cage which contains a dangerous raging beast and was the nightmare of all Konoha genin Tora. "Meow, meow, sensei, can I just throw this beast away?" Naruto asked in annoyed, as this is the fourth time that they were sent to retrieve the stupid cat that somehow keep running away from the noble wife house. "Well, although I have the same wish to dispose of this cat Naru-chan, but, you know the rule." Kushina replied with an apologetic smile, while she looks at the annoyed faces that her student has on his face, which in her opinion is quite cute as he still has some baby fat on his face. "But," Kushina said with a change in her expression and walks closer to Naruto before whisper in a low voice which only Naruto can hear. "You did a very good job for finding the cat within 10 minutes, so I will give you a small reward after we finished this mission. Is that all right to you?" Kushina teased playfully and had dozens of thoughts swimming in her mind, but the sudden hand landed on her right with a smack and then another on her left surprised her greatly and made the said Uzumaki go completely rigid. "How about I get my reward now, sensei?" was the reply of Naruto with a nicely healthy smile, and his left hand took hold of the cage while his right hand began groping Kushina's cheek. Someone is being eager, aren't you?" Kushina replied with a soft peck on Naruto's forehead, making the said blonde blush a bit. "You will receive better reward later. Let's go to the Hokage Tower first, Naru-chan. Hokage office. After 5 minutes, both Naruto and Kushina have reached the tower just when Kushina is going to knock on the door. She can clearly hear the arguing sound inside the office, and it sounds like the old Hokage is currently arguing with some old man. I pay more than this. And this is the best you can offer me. Trust me, Tazuna-san. Team 7 is the best genin team we can offer, and your payment can only afford 1 or maximum 2 chunins to escort you. The third Hokage replied. When Kushina heard the familiar name of Tazuna, she was surprised and recalled the memories about this old man before she decided to enter the Hokage's office. Knock, knock, come in. Hokage-sama. Team 9 had completed the mission. And Tazuna Gigi, is it nice to see you still healthy and well. Kushina greeted both old men with a smile and caused the old bridge builder to turn his head to Team 9 with surprise all written over his face. Kushina-san. Tazuna Gigi. Nice to see you again. The blonde teenager greeted with a foxy grin, and the old bridge builder also smiled happily in return when he saw the young blonde. Naruto boy, you have grown up so much. The old bridge builder replied, and like a grandpa, he quickly walked toward the blonde and checked him from head to toe. Decided to let her son have a small conversation with the old bridge builder. Kushina begin her report, as she has to show her professional inside the office even if she is happy to see the old bridge builder again. How are you, Naruto, my boy? I hope you haven't been causing too much trouble for your mother. I have been good, Gigi, and I am an official shinobi now. The blonde boy replied proudly to the bridge builder and pointed at his forehead protector, which made the old bridge builder smile happily. Well done, Team 9, you are dismissed. Hokage-sama, may I request to change my escort team to Kushina-san team? The third Hokage was surprised by the request of the old bridge builder, but he can see the reason behind Tazuna's wish to change the escort team. Hokage-sama, you said the money I paid was only affordable for a team. Then I will gladly choose Kushina-san's team as my escort since they have been to Wave before. Tazuna replied, and this caused the third Hokage to begin his brainstorming. Sure, he is okay to have Team 7 or Team 9 tag along the mission, since it would be a good opportunity for the genin to take a look at the view outside the wall. However, his duty as the Hokage forbade him to do so. First, the payment made by Tazuna was only affordable for 1 team. If he allows Team 9 to take over the mission, it will be unfair to Team 7. Second, if he allowed Kushina's team to tag along, it may begin a bad example for the payment of genin team, and the most serious issue was, can he allow the Jinchuriki to leave Konoha? TCH. You want a loser to escort you instead of the elite. Foolish old man. During the third Hokage brainstorming, one of the team members of Team 7, or in better terms Kiba, once again begins his mocking on Naruto's team. Looks like the boy still hasn't learnt his lesson after the last sparring and has his wounds being treated in the hospital for a whole week. Can I really let Team 9 be out of the wall? What will the council say when they find out? You know what? Let the council go screw themselves. It was bad enough for me to be blamed by several clan heads due to the second Hokage birthday tournament. You have made a valid point, Mr. Tazuna. Since you have stated that Kushina team is more familiar with Wave Country, I will agree on this escort mission, but with one condition. Team 7 shall also take part in this escort mission. I will not put an extra charge for the payment, but I wish you to provide them a place to stay during the mission. Is that acceptable? The old Hokage asked. Several hours later. The Bridge of Wave. Several hours later. Since Tazuna wishes to return to Wave as soon as possible, both teams took off rather quickly, after their encounter with the Mizu demon brothers, who intended to ambush them but being spotted by Team 9 and has Kakashi being defeated by the demons, which turn out just a test to his team. Tazuna finally told both teams the truth behind this mission. After both teams knew about the truth behind Wave Country emergency status, Kakashi's team strongly recommended returning to Konoha since the situation was out of their control. If they were not careful enough, this mission may become the spark to enlighten the conflict between countries. However, seeing that Team 9 wishes to continue the mission, Team 7 can only agree to continue the mission with all of them having their own thoughts in their mind, especially Kiba. Damn that dope, but this may be a chance for me to impress Kushina. Just you wait Kushina, you will soon moan my name. This was the thought of the horny Kiba. It seems he is still out of the reality and continues in his daydream while keeping eyeing Kushina's when she walks. An hour later, the team has finally reached the border of Konoha, and present in front of them is the giant Great Bridge of Wave which is still in construction. Wow, that's huge. Hey, remember who is the one crafting it? Tazuna said proudly with his nose almost reaching the sky, but just when they step onto the bridge, their vision was suddenly blocked by thick mist. Tazuna-san, is there always so much mist here? Usually no. It's kind of strange wave will only has small mist that barely disturb our vision. I am also first time encounter mist that thick. Tazuna replied to Kakashi, as it was true. Even now it is midday, both teams can barely see what is in front of them. Guys, be careful, this may be an enemy's jutsu. I once heard there was a jutsu name, Hidden Mist, that is commonly used in Mist Village Assassin. Kushina said and caused both Team 7 and her team to be alert, with all the genin immediately grabbing hold on their kunai while advancing slowly. Suddenly there was a giant light source appear and coming straight forward them. Dodge! Kushina exclaimed as she quickly grabbed the old bridge builder and jumped to the side, with her student also doing the same, and had Team 7 leader Kakashi grab Sakura, Kiba and Sasuke to the side. Itachi, how can you miss such a large target? Said a voice inside the mist, and with a wave of his blade a part of the mist was being blown off and had the attacker reveal himself to the Konoha shinobi. Itachi! Sasuke roared in rage as he tried to rush toward Itachi but was held back by Kakashi. This isn't good, thought Kushina as she looked at her opponent. Hoshigaki Kisame aka Monster of the Mist, Genjutsu Master Uchiha Itachi and Momochi Zabuza, Demon of the Mist. Kakashi mumbled, as he eyed his foes carefully, and one thing he can say is the situation in front of him is very very bad. 2 S-class missing nins and 1 A-class rouge nin. Hey Itachi, it seems we are quite famous around here. Well, seems you are aware of us, then I suppose introduction isn't needed, so how about you just hand the bridge builder to us and run away? Kisame suggests with a chuckle and has his blade to grin like approving his words. Not going to happen. If you want him then you will have to fight for him. Kushina retorted as she pulled out her sword from her seal storage that is applied on her hand guard. That's what I like to hear. Chuck, Chuck, the shark skin rouge nin said happily before he went into his battle stance. Kakashi, you handle Zabuza, I will take care both Itachi and Sharky. Kushina ordered, and with that was said the whole flies became dead silent. Both Konoha S-rank shinobi inspect the move of their enemy with caution. As for the genins and Tazuna, they are all very nervous as this is the first time that they are going to handle rouge nin. Zabuza, do your thing, Kisame ordered. Just take care yourself, Shark. Zabuza replied with annoyance and began to flash through hand seals. Kakashi, we have to stop that technique, Kushina said in a hurry as she immediately dashed forward hoping to disturb Zabuza to cast the jutsu, but only being blocked by Kisame with his sword. Hehe, your fight is with me. Lightning blade, Kakashi exclaimed and had lightning cover up his hand and kunai before he charged toward Zabuza, but he was disturbed when Itachi showed up just in front of him. Water release. Hidden in the mist technique. The Demon of the Mist exclaimed as the mist once again covered up the whole bridge and all 3 rouge nin along with the junins, totally leaving out the genins with the old bridge builder. Now there left only the genins to guard the bridge builder with the sound of metal clashing echoing through the mist. The best word to describe Team 7's current feeling is scare. The sound of metal clashing would only increase their nervousness. Sasuke-kun, I am scared, Sakura said in a timid voice as she grabbed hold onto her beloved Sasuke's hand tightly like her life depended on him. As for Kiba and Sasuke, both boys are trying to locate within all the metal clashing sound. Maybe we should retreat now, Kiba suggested with a gulp as he can't stop his legs that are shaking like crazy. All those thoughts of banging another girl and self-proclaimed alpha were all gone when he first encountered such a deadly situation. There is one thought that keeps swimming in his mind, which is to run back to Konoha. Kiba, clank. But before Kiba can actually put his mind into action, he is suddenly pushed away by Naruto throwing a shinobi pouch toward him, which causes him to fall backward. Kiba was still confused as hell when he was hit by the pouch. The next thing he saw almost caused him shit in his pants as a sword mark appeared just where he was standing. Naruto was the first one to sense an unknown chakra signature appear behind the Kiba and can only react by pushing the boy away while he himself quickly activate his Sharingan to locate the enemy. Oh, I didn't know that there is a genin able to pinpoint my location when I used my silent assassinate skill, the figure said, with Naruto reverse grabbing his kunai and ordering Team 7, protect the client. Don't leave him out of your sight. But, the figure said, and out of sudden a sword appeared from the left of Naruto and it was filled with lightning chakra. Reacting quickly, Naruto quickly pushed back the sword and jumped backward, but still had his shoulder being cut a bit. Who are you? Oh, I am surprised you can't even recognize the blades. Well, the figure said as he steps into the clearing with all members of Team 7 being frozen up because of his content KI. I am Kurosuke Raiga, also known well as Thunder in the Hidden Mist, and this baby is my precious weapon Kiba Blades. The Rouge Nin introduced. He is a man who has blue eyes with a darker ripple around the pupil, waist-length green hair with the top two bangs falling down on his cheeks on each side, and having dark, full lips. In his hands is a pair of swords, each with slim and straight double-edged blades. Both blades also have an upward curved bladed prong near the tip of one side of the blade and another one near the base of the blade's other side. At their bases are smooth brown hilts with a round gray hilt. Say, what's your name, kid? Raiga, the Thunder of the Mist asked as he pointed his blade toward Naruto with full interest. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto answered, even though the missing nin is standing there lazily, but being aware of the name and the swords, Naruto has to be cautious for each action he is about to take around the Rouge Nin. A blonde Uzumaki. That's rare. You don't seem like an Uzumaki, but rather you do successfully remind me of one man, a person, a very powerful and prideful person. Raiga stated, but suddenly he disappeared, and appeared just beside Sasuke with the intent to avoid combat with Naruto and went straight forward to Zuna. Team 7. Protect the client. Naruto yelled once more. As he had expected, the rogue nin target was Tazuna and he would of course try to avoid any battle with him. When the moment Raiga rushed toward Tazuna, a mud wall was immediately raised in front of Tazuna, and it is coming from the seal tag Naruto has put around Tazuna before the fight. And soon after one mud wall was raised up, 3 other walls were also raised up from the ground protecting Team 7 and Tazuna. Wind style. Wind blade. Naruto exclaimed, and his kunai was being covered in a layer of wind. In the elements, wind can beat lightning, but in the case of Naruto his kunai can barely counter against the Kiba blade. Clank. TCH, you surely look like a man that I fight before. The yellow flash and hero of Konoha Namikaze Minato, Raiga said as he pushed Naruto's kunai back and began to exchange blows with him. While Naruto has practiced Kenjutsu before, his standard in sword art still has some gap between a true 7-sword man of the mist. Clank, clank, clank. You fight with your spirit, but, Raiga said while pushing the blonde backward as his speed is still faster than the blonde and forced the blonde to be on the defensive. With an upward slash, Naruto's wind blade was being cut in half. Seizing this opportunity, Raiga raised his left leg and delivered a powerful kick toward Naruto's abdomen and sent him flying a short distance. TCH. But just when Naruto regains his balance and tries to fight again, the Kiba blades that cloak with lightning has already pointed toward his eye, and with one more inch it will stab into Naruto's eye. You provide a good fight, however you are still too young to challenge a true sword man. Raiga stated coldly as he pointed his blade toward the blonde and kept him in place. But you do remind me of that person who also set me free after I lost in the battle. I don't know whether he is related to you or not, but think this is me paying the debt I owe him in the second war. Raiga said before retreated his blades. Until next time, brat. Raiga. Naruto yelled as he quickly took out another kunai and cloaked it with wind element again while trying to cut toward Raiga, only to have Raiga to dissolve into water as he had already shunshin away and replaced it with a water clone. Wind style. Great breakthrough! Exclaimed a feminine voice as a large wind blade was created and blew off the mist that covered the battlefield. And now the crimson-haired Uzumaki is trying her best to fight the monster of the mist while in the meantime locate Itachi. The battle between her and Kisame can only be described as a fair fight, as Kushina has more agility while Kisame has more strength, so both of them weren't able to defeat each other soon. As for Kakashi, he just charged up a lighting blade and rushed toward Zabuza, but suddenly Itachi appeared beside Kakashi while in his Susanoo form and knocked him into the lake. Water style. Water prison. Zabuza exclaimed, and immediately Kakashi was covered up by water and held in it, unable to move, and had Zabuza create one clone to maintain the jutsu. Now it just left one more, Zabuza said with a shark-like grin, as he dashed toward Kushina, who was still fighting against Kisame. Ka-sama. The boy roared as he directly rushed toward the battlefield without any second thought. Currently his mind only filled one thought now: protect his mother. What do you think can be achieved by yourself? Zabuza asked with a chuckle before he joined in attacking Kushina, but was stopped as he saw the blonde rush toward him and swing his blade toward the blonde. Lightning blade, Naruto exclaimed. With the power of his Sharingan he has successfully copied the hand sign of Kakashi's lightning blade and applied it onto his kunai. What? Slash. In a blink of an eye the Kubikiribocho was being cut in half, and the attack didn't stop there as Naruto slashed up a big cut onto Zabuza's chest and caused the said sword man to cough out blood. What have you done? Kisame yelled in panic as he quickly pushed back Kushina's sword and prepared to counter the lightning blade, but he made a mistake by looking into Naruto's eyes and being frozen in place. Sharingan. With just only blank for several seconds, Kushina quickly uses this opportunity to slash upward and aim to cut down Kisami's head, and Naruto also has his lightning blade aiming toward Kisami's heart. Susanoo. But in the last moment a crimson giant skull appears before Kisame and deflect both blades. Fire release. Great fireball. Itachi exclaimed as he cast out a giant fireball, acting quick. Water release. Water dragon bullet. Exclaimed both Uzumaki as they put out the fire, but during that time Itachi had already brought Kisame with him and shunshin away. Kushina, are you alright? Kakashi asked. Just as the water clone of Zabuza disappeared he managed to break free quickly, but when he appeared onto the bridge again, he just saw a figure with Mizu's Hunter Nin mask had carried Zabuza and shunshin away. I am okay. How about you, Naru-chan? Kushina asked as Naruto quickly deactivated his Sharingan before turning to face the copy ninja. Yes, I am fine. We should really get going now. Who knows will there be any more reinforcement or not? Kakashi suggested and received nods from both Naruto and Kushina as they quickly walked toward the client and the genins of Team 7. And, of course, the genins of Team 7 are all angry toward the blonde as the sudden rise up of the mud wall causes some of the mud to stain onto their shirt. Later. Knock. Knock. Yes. After the teams reached Wave and sooner, They reached Tazuna's house while the entire way Naruto was looking around at the island, and it was almost still the same, but now the situation here is more critical. There are many houses or shops being destroyed, and the teams also spotted several thugs here and there. After Tazuna knocks on the door, a woman who looked to be around the age of Kushina comes to greet them, and when she sees her dad is safe, she quickly lunges forward and hugs the old bridge builder tightly. "Thank God you are safe, Tsu-sama," Tsunami exclaimed happily while hugging her father tightly. "Tsunami-chan, long time no see." Kushina greeted nicely as the said woman let go of her father and looked toward Kushina. "Kushina-sama, and that must be Naruto-kun, good to see you guys again." Tazuna House. Later. Tazuna's house is a small house outside of the city, with most of it being surrounded by water, and someone living in an economically struggling country. Not having a lot of money, Tazuna still able to uses all his knowledge to build up an amazing house, as it was surrounded by water, which without doubt would be an amazing view at night. After showing the rooms for both teams, all teams are now gathering at the living room. As for Tsunami, she had been really hospitable to them, especially after she saw Kushina and Naruto again, because they have been away from Wave for 4 years. When at dinner time, Kushina had offered her help at the kitchen, and she saw that Tazuna's family didn't really have a lot of food in his house, and if they really all eat here tonight, all the food will eaten finished within a month, so she quickly decided to go out and hunt some animal for her and Naruto. Although Tsunami insists them to stay and told her that they have enough food supplies, but still being turned down by Kushina as she don't want to bring any difficult to Tsunami. Forest. An hour later. Naru-chan, are you sure you are enough already? There are still pretty more fishes if you want. I think I am good, thanks Ka-sama. The blonde replied as he sits on the log silently while hunting, and surviving in the forest should be a tough job for almost every normal person, but for shinobi and with someone who has almost perfect control on water element, it is quite easy for Kushina and Naruto to catch fishes without any problem. Find more to me then, Kushina said while trying to convince Naruto to have more fishes, but when she glanced towards Naruto, she didn't get a response from him and saw that he was busy looking at the stars while in deep thought. This makes Kushina frown. Is her son being troubled by something? Why did he choose not to tell her? Thinking quickly, Kushina suddenly found out that they are in the forest and that left only 2 of them, and now it is like a perfect time to catch her Naru-chan off guard and reward him for his action on the bridge. With that, a small teasing smile quickly spread on her face. Softly put down her food and quietly sneaked up behind Naruto before she suddenly surprised him when she cupped his cover crotch. Ka-sama, Naruto yelled out as he was being caught completely off guard, and his brain was still trying to catch up with what was happening right now. Seeing that her move success, Kushina softly presses her clothed against Naruto's back and has her hand grabbing his crotch. Immediately she feels his become rock hard under the trousers. Looks like someone is quite hard already, teased Kushina while whispering beside Naruto's ears and blowing some hot air into it. But just when Naruto wanted to turn his head to deny it, he was surprised by Kushina as she placed her lips against his and softly she inserted her own tongue into Naruto's mouth, and their kiss turned into a hot make-out. After kissing for about 30 minutes, Kushina decided to pull back for oxygen and has a string of saliva while still has her hand on his crotch while smiling seductively to her son. You did well today, Naru-chan, so you deserve a nice reward today, said Kushina as she slowly zipped down her Jonin vest and threw it to the side, and also gave Naruto a strip tease while slowly pulled up her black shirt and her black sport bra over her head. Under the moonlight it gave Kushina a different kind of beauty, as now standing in front of the blonde isn't like a human anymore but like a beautiful goddess from moon, as she has her firm DD jiggle a bit, and at the moment Naruto can only describe them as prefect. Come here, Naru-chan, signaled Kushina seductively, like his whole soul was being controlled by the goddess. Naruto unconsciously moved toward Kushina. Come Naru-chan, claim your reward. said Kushina as she slowly laid herself down onto the grass on her back, as without any second thought Naruto hungrily got on top of the goddess and stated to lick and play with her breast. Hum, hum. As Naruto squeezed and bounced her left breast forcefully while greedily on her right nipple and drawing circles around the pink tip with his tongue while pulling it sometimes. Hum, not so rough, ah. Moaned the beautiful Kushina as she leaned her head back onto the grass and just enjoyed the pleasure she felt from Naruto on her erect nipples for a while, and for Naruto he decided to continue to on both her nipples, switching from one to the other. He on them gently and roughly while also occasionally pinching her nipples, and he showed no signs of wanting to stop anytime soon as he also left a few kisses on her breasts. But when Naruto had bitten onto her right nipple and was about to pull it with his teeth, Kushina softly touched his chest to stop him. Naru-chan, that was amazing, but I don't want to be the only one receiving pleasure, now let me serve you. Whispering Kushina gently and slowly, she pushes Naruto backward and instructs him to sit on the log before she crawls toward him and slowly unbutton his pants and pull them down along with his boxers. And when Naruto's being revealed, Kushina has all her blood gathered up onto her face. Oh my god, Naru-chan's. In front of Kushina is a proud erect, as this is also the first time Kushina sees a, so she timidly inspecting its color and veins while wondering how to make it feels good. Slowly bringing her shaking left hand up, Kushina gathered up all her courage as she softly grabbed onto and felt a little surprise when it throbbed at her touch. As for Naruto, he gave a grunt when Kushina held his in her hand, and remembering the teaching from a medical book, Kushina slowly pulled down the foreskin and revealed the pink tip with a little bit of precum. Gently and softly Kushina began to stroke Naruto's a few times. Ka-sama. Naruto moaned out loudly as this also makes Kushina feels happy. After stroking for few more times, Kushina decided to give more pleasure to Naruto as she suddenly stopped, and this bring confusion to Naruto, but the next thing she do. Ka-sa. Kushina softly pressed her soft against Naruto's erection and had his rod disappear in between her twins and could only see his tip poking up in between the soft twins. Just the soft and indescribable pleasure almost made Naruto to release his load. Ka-sama. I am going to, warned Naruto. After Kushina pushed her against his few more times, Naruto suddenly released her cum, and the amount of sperm Naruto shot had its stain on Kushina's face and her. As for Kushina, she felt every single shot from the nestled between her tits, and a few white spurts shot up and landed atop of her tits and face. When Kushina released her and they opened up, she saw a sticky mess with few semen strings connecting to Naruto's now flaccid. What a large amount you have spray out, Naru-chan. After cleaning. Now, Naru-chan, do you have anything you want to talk to me about? Kushina asks nicely as she takes a seat beside Naruto and turns to look at him. It's nothing. Ka-sama. Naru-chan, please, I have been with you for your whole life. I know there is something troubling you and I wish to help you with it. Kushina comforts as she tries to persuade Naruto to tell her the truth. Well, it nothing, Ka-sama. Naruto said before he stands up from the log. I am going to take a walk. Ka-sama, please head back to Tazuna Gigi house first. I will see you later. Naru. After the small event, Naruto decided to take a walk alone. While this may have confused Kushina, as this is the first time Naruto didn't want her to come along, but she can only agree with him as he is very sure about it and telling her that he needs some space for a while. After she reminded him to be careful, before watching her son walks into the deeper part of the forest, Kushina can't stop worrying about her son but decided to lessen a bit of her worry as she thinks that maybe Naruto has faces some personal problem in his puberty and really needs some space for his own. Beside the lake. For Naruto, you remind me of a person, the yellow flash Namikaze Minato. Is he telling the truth? That I look a lot like the fourth Hokage? Thought Naruto as he begins to remember the looks on her mother when he asked about the history of the fourth Hokage and also the appearance of the fourth Hokage. Ocean blue eyes, blonde hair, That's the similarity I share with the fourth. But if the fourth really is my father, who did I inherit my Sharingan from? While Naruto is deep in his thoughts, he is not aware that a pair of crimson eyes are quietly watching from the tree beside the forest. Nah, nah, quote question mark exclamation mark. Wah. The sudden appearance of a large group of crows rushing out from the right side of the path knocks the unprepared genin onto the forest floor. We meet again, Naruto-kun, said a voice just as the group of crows disappeared. Itachi. Naruto exclaimed, seeing the man that stands on the tree, and quickly pulled out his kunai to fight. It seems you have grown stronger and looks more similar to your father. What about my father? I have no father, Naruto yelled furiously, but, in his heart, when the word, father, was being spoken, it immediately caught his attention. Nonsense, Naruto-kun, I knew your father and I used to learn from him. Itachi said without changing his expression. And I also knew who was the one gave you the Sharingan, but... The Uchiha explained, but suddenly a chakra signature appeared just right behind Naruto. You haven't truly awakened the truth power of Sharingan. Itachi said. The last thing Naruto saw before he faded was the beautiful crimson eyes of Manjiko Sharingan possessed by Itachi. This may be cruel to you, but if you want to protect those you love, you must pass this test. Naruto's mindscape. It a genjutsu, it not real. My lord, what should we do about the Jinchuriki? Extract the Kyuubi and kill her later, we don't need any survival. Said a voice just beside Naruto. Not knowing how long have he been passed out, Naruto slowly open up his eyes and tries to move his hands and legs, but found out that he can't. Begin the process. Yelled a painful and familiar voice, as this caused Naruto to immediately open up his eyes and only to see there were a group of people standing around his mother while pulling out something from her stomach. Ka-sama. Oh, the dirty son of Uzumaki has awoke, said a voice, and this caused Naruto to turn his head toward the sound only to see a man with bandage cover his right eyes, but for unknown reason Naruto can't see his face clearly. Release her, now, yelled Naruto furiously as he tried to break free from the chains but found out that his chakra is sealed. Don't try to escape, brat, it no uses. My lord, the extraction is complete. A man with a boar mask said, and turns toward the man beside Naruto. Very well, said the man and turned to look at Naruto with a grin. Thanks to you, my boy, we have finally able to capture the Kyuubi and now has all its power under my control, said the man before he turns toward to his Anbu and ordered him. Kill her, Naruto. I like trying to tell Naruto something. Even in her weakest state, Kushina also forces herself to smile and tries to say something, but it stops as a man with a blank mask raises his sword and brings it down toward Kushina. No, ouch, damn it, can't you be gentler? The source of the sound belongs to the famous demon of the mist, hissing in pain when his apprentice applied some medical ointment cream onto Zabuza's wound. Stop acting like a big baby. If you get so carried away in battle again, I will not help you next time, Zabuza-sama. The Mizu hunter nin complainant. The hunter wore a special Mizu bounty hunter on her face after finishing applied ointment onto Zabuza's wound before wrapping up some bandage around his chest. Troublesome, ouch. Please stay still, Zabuza-sama. The Mizu hunter nin said. Unlike other hunter nin whose will be more likely to be muscular build, the Zabuza apprentice has long black hair that ties up into a bun, and her build is much slender than average bounty hunter. After she finishes wrapping up the bandage around Zabuza's chest, she then proceeds to cleans up her hand that is full of blood. Still acting so hot-head again, Zabuza? The Thunder of Mist asked. He just finished his negotiation with both members of Akatsuki and he was here to bring the latest update to Zabuza. He just stood beside the door and had his famous blades Kiba strapped on his waist. TCH. You are not better than me, Raiga. You have let your target escape when he was just being protected by several brats. Zabuza mocked with a smirk with the said thunder of mist just shaked his head in reply. Whatever. Raiga replied lazily and took a seat on the floor with his eyes closed while leaning his back on the cave wall. Please be careful next time, Zabuza-sama. It is very fortunate that the lightning slash didn't cause any deep wounds on you. The masked hunter Nin warned and finished wrapping up all the bandages on Zabuza. You worry too much, girl. I am the demon of mist, there is never death. Zabuza said proudly. His title of the demon was earned during the war, and it truth that he rarely lose, but before he can continue to show off, his speech was interrupted when Thung. If you rush out battle without a full plan next time, I will leave yourself at there, Zabuza-sama. The girl warned with an ice needle struck on the wall behind Zabuza with only a few inches closer the needle will hit Zabuza's forehead. Wow. Chill out, girl. The thunder of the mist said after he heard the sound of something struck on the wall. His first thought was some kind of ambush attack and had his thunder blades tightly grabbed in his hand only to find it was not an enemy attack. Not very helpful here, Raiga. Anyway, how long will I be able to wield my sword again, Haku? About several weeks, Zabuza-sama. The cut has injured your lungs and almost reached your heart. The now known Haku replied, before she put down her mask and revealed her beautiful face. The word beautiful or gorgeous may be the words that fit her the most. She has a pair of beautiful black eyes and skin that can compare to the beautiful first snow in the winter. Raiga-san, I am going out to pick some herbs for Zabuza-sama. Can you please help me take care of Zabuza-sama for a while? Sure. Babysitting the demon shouldn't be too hard. Raiga replied, but he also quickly ducked to the right, as the giant sword Kubikiribocho was being thrown towards him and stuck on the wall, while what followed was the coughing sound of Zabuza. Sigh. Just be careful, okay? Haku advises with a sigh before she walks into the deeper part of the cave to change. After she changed to her pink kimono, the girl then proceeded to head out, even though she knew it was possible that both her master and Raiga might try to bite each other's head off. She can just hope that maybe she worries too much, best not to think about it for now. I will be heading out now, please be careful, Zabuza-sama. The girl said before forming a simple seal after she stepped out of the cave, covering the safe with a simple illusion. Tell me, Raiga, why did you let go of your target? The demon asked after Haku went out. Straight to the point, huh? The thunder of mist replied. Zabuza, do you believe the fourth Hokage has a son? Back to Haku. It is now in the morning and usually there isn't anyone in the forest at such time. Thus Haku didn't take much weapon with her and just bought a basket that has 2 kunai in it, slowly walks toward the lake area as there are some medical herbs she needs. During her walks toward the lake side, birds and small animals can be seen very often. It is just like they are not afraid of the girl and wish to stay close to her. But today is destined to be an unusual day. When Haku reached the lake side, she was surprised that she was not alone. She saw a blonde teenager laying on the forest floor like he was in deep sleep. Why did anyone choose such a place to rest at night? Wait. Was the thought of Haku when she saw the boy. After she decided to walk closer for a close inspection of the blonde boy, she was surprised to find out that in front of her is the boy that injured Zabuza-sama. He might be a threat to Zabuza-sama. Haku thought, quietly and steadily, forming an ice needle from the wet grassland and preparing to deliver a fatal blow to the boy and probably kill him while he was sleeping. But when Haku prepares to strike, her hands begin to shake furiously. As silly it may seem for a rogue nin to be scared of killing, but for Haku's case the death of her family has created an unrepairable nightmare to her. The death of her parents in front of her, their last words, their blood has caused too much harm to young Haku mental. She still couldn't walk out from her past. The eyes of her parents' murder had keep hunting Haku until now. Why can't I? Haku thought as she began to fight with her own soul, and finally she gave up and dissolved her ice needle back to water and had it splash over the grassland. Excuse me, sir. You are resting on the herbs I need. Haku said gently and gently shakes on Naruto's arms. But suddenly the boy's eyes snapped open and he quickly lunged toward the surprised Haku, pinning her onto the forest floor while has his hand choking her throat. Die, die, die. Why did you kill her? Naruto roared angrily. The nightmare Itachi brought on him has caused him too much suffering. In that moment his Sharingan changes into Mangekyo with blood tears running down his eyes. Wait, please. Haku mumbled out weakly as her strength isn't as strong as the blonde while she is trying her best to push away the blonde. After he heard the soft and gentle voice of a female, Naruto almost instantly snapped back to reality and he quickly looks around his surrounding only to surprise that he is trying to choke a girl. What? I am sorry, Naruto exclaimed rather panicked, as he quickly moved away and pulled the girl up. I am sorry, miss. I am so sorry. Naruto apologized quickly and softly patted on the girl's back to help her to regain her breath. 5 minutes later, Naruto has just been through hell for the past several hours, watching the one he cares the most being tortured, kill again and again cause him almost losing his mind, but just when he was in the urge of breaking down, a soft and gentle voice ended his nightmares and bring him back to the world. And now in front of him is a beautiful girl with long black hair that reaches her back, pale skin and large dark brown eyes. She wore a pink sleeveless kimono with pale red edges that shows her slender frame, and most importantly she has a very beautiful and gorgeous look. I am so sorry about. The blonde apologized once more but was stopped by the girl. It's okay, Haku replied as she moved closer to Naruto and put her hand onto Naruto's forehead. This made Naruto's face heated up quickly as the close contact with the girl has made him smell of her fragrance while has the girl's pink lips just in front of him several inches. You are not having a fever. Were you having a nightmare, Shinobi-san? Haku asked, even though she knew the boy in front of her is an enemy, but her role as a medic made her worry for the blonde too. Beautiful, Naruto mumbled out as his mind was being carried away by the previous contact with the girl, and this clearly took Haku by surprise as this is the first time she was ever being complimented by a boy and has a little pink on her cheeks. Thank you, Shinobi-san, Haku whispers, as she gives a smile to Naruto, which also brings the said blonde back to reality again and makes him blush harder while having all the nightmare from Itachi illusion being thrown away. So, what are you doing out here all by yourself, miss? Naruto asked as he nervously offers his hand and pulls Haku up. Hey, is it not polite not to introduce yourself first, you know? Haku complained in a joking tone together with a playful smile and accepted the offer, letting Naruto pull her up. Oh right, my name is Uzumaki Naruto and I am a shinobi from Konoha. And what is your name, beauty? Cut it off, I am not a beauty. My name is Haku, no last name, and I am just a civilian from Wave. Haku replied while her cheeks turned rosy pink. And I am here to pick up some herbs for my precious one. As Gato's thugs have been running in the town for months, there isn't any medical supply available in Wave right now. The girl explained politely before she kneels down and start picking up herbs. Gato, that bastard. Hey, how about I help you out? It will be very rude for just leaving you to do all this work by yourself, Naruto suggested, as he kneels down beside Haku, who is surprised that the blonde will help her to pick up the herbs. Thanks, Naruto-san, but you might need to throw away the plant you are holding right now as it is a type of poison grass, Haku said, and this caused the blonde to panic, immediately throw the plant away and have the girl giggle in reply. An hour later. Thank you for your generous help, Naruto-san. Nah, you are welcome, Haku-san. With the chan words almost slipping out of his mouth, Naruto immediately changes the word at the last minute and has his and Haku's cheeks to blush. Well, I don't mind if you refer to me as Chan, Haku whisper quietly before she picks up the basket. Thanks again. Naruto-san, I will be going then. Haku bit fell well to Naruto, as she turns around, but just after she took several steps she heard Naruto. Will we meet again, Haku-chan? Naruto asked. He was also nervous and excited about the answer. We probably will. Bye Naruto-kun. Haku replied as she gave Naruto a polite smile before walking into the deeper of the forest and leaving Naruto alone standing at his place. Why did I feel that I don't want her to leave? Was the thought of Naruto, as this girl Haku gave him the same feeling of his mother when she said she loves him, but it is kinda different from Kushina, as both of them have totally different personality. Kushina has a very active personal while Haku give him a feel of peace and gentle. I should probably head back now. Chizuna's house. Half an hour later. Knock, knock. I am back. Naru-chan. Just when Naruto opens the door, a crimson-haired Uzumaki who has been worrying sick about her son immediately lunges toward him and hugs him tightly. Where have you been all night? Do you know how worried I am? Ka-sama. With shaky hands, after being through the horrible nightmare for all night long, the blonde gently hugs Kushina and confirms once more that in front of him is his beloved mother, alive and warm. Thank God. The blonde whispers quietly as he is glad that she is safe and sound. Without saying a word to each other, both mother and son quietly enjoy the embrace of each other for several minutes before they let go of each other. Naru-chan. Seriously, where have you been last night? I have been worry sick for whole night. Ka-sama. I rather not talk about it. Naruto answered as he really doesn't want to recall the horrible memory of last night. The blonde chooses to hide the truth for once, even though he told her that he met Itachi last night. It will only get her to be more worried. Okay then. But if you have anything to tell me, I will gladly listen to you. Kushina replied. She then wipes away her tears and calms herself a bit before she puts up a big smile. Alright then Naru-chan, let's begin our training today. Training. You aren't possibly thinking that I will allow you to be lazy, Naru-chan. Since you are back, let's begin our training right away then. The crimson-haired Uzumaki woman said, and without giving any chances for her son to complain, she then dragged Naruto into the forest despite the blonde protest about the training. 10 minutes later. Forest. Okay. I think we are far enough. Kushina said. After walking for 10 minutes, both Uzumaki stop at a small clearing inside the forest and have Kushina inspect the surroundings. Ka-sama, why do you lead me into the forest? I thought just behind Tazuna Gigi house there was a big clearing. Well, for your information Naru-chan, before Tsunami-san went out this morning, Kakashi has informed his team to gather there for tree walking or other training, if I am not mistaken. Besides, I can't let the so-called copy ninja copy any of my awesome teaching, right? Naru-chan, and you don't want anyone to find out your reward, right? The beautiful Uzumaki teased with a wink and a seductive smile. As for today, I will teach you this, Kushina said and lent out her hand. Within the first few seconds Naruto was confused as nothing happened, but slowly he can feel the wind gather on Kushina's palm and begin to spin in a direction, and it forms into a blue color spiral ball. This Naru-chan is the masterpiece of the fourth Hokage, the Rasengan. It does not need complex hand seals to perform it, thus it is very efficient during a battle, as you can just form it immediately after you master it. And for how much damage can it cause? Kushina explained as she walked to a tree and slammed the spiraling sphere onto the tree trunk. Almost instantly there was a large amount of wood pieces sent flying, and the trunk where the Rasengan hit was being replaced by a large hole. About this much, Kushina said as she turned around before the tree fell down, resulting in a large amount of dust being blown off. Cool. Looking at what was left for the tree, Naruto was quite surprised and astounded with the result that a simple small chakra ball can bring. I know. It is cool, right? How about we begin our lesson for today, Naru-chan? Kushina asked as she clapped her hand to gain Naruto's attention. First of all, I will teach you about the basic knowledge of Rasengan as I just taught you. Rasengan doesn't require any hand seals, but it will require extremely refined chakra control which you have after walking on waterfall, something that very few shinobi naturally possess. For this reason, the fourth Hokage broken the steps of learning Rasengan into 3 steps: rotation, power and containment. As for today, I am going to teach you about rotation only. Once you master the rotation, I will teach you the power required to form Rasengan. Is that clear? Yes, sensei. The blonde answered almost instantly as he was excited to learn the awesome jutsu. Good. For rotation you must first learn how to spin your chakra in multiple directions at once. To be more simplified, catch. Kushina explained as she took out a water balloon from her Jonin vessel's pocket and threw it to Naruto. As to help you marking your progress of rotation, the balloon can help you with that as it is filled with water and your goal is to spins the water in several directions until the balloon burst completely. As for the reward for mastering this technique, Kushina said in a teasing tone as she slowly walked to a tree while swaying her left and right until she disappeared behind the tree, making sure that Naruto-chan can't see her from his position. Kushina quickly pulled down her black slim yoga pants. This is embarrassing, but it all for Naruto. Kushina thought with a bit of nervousness as her hands reached the hem of her black lace panties as she quickly pulled it down and took it off. As soon she put back her yoga pants, calming herself enough, Kushina then made her way towards Naruto while having the blonde attention all on her. Right. As I promise. If you master this exercise within this week you will get to keep this, and if you fail I will just take it back. The crimson-hair Uzumaki said while trying her best to stay calm before bringing her arm forward and show Naruto his prize for succeeding in this training. Wow, that's surely something I will keep forever. Thanks, sensei, exclaimed the happy teenager as he snatched Kushina black lace panties from her and inspected them closer and realized that it was still warm. Ka-sama. Did you just take it off? All right, let's begin the training. Too embarrassed to answer the question, the crimson-hair Uzumaki quickly changed the topic as she was almost being covered by embarrassment, and not to mention she almost reached her limit before her mind went completely blank. Taking out another balloon from her pocket, she quickly explains how to burst the balloon before shunshin to a nearby tree, leaving Naruto alone at the clearing. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, were all the thoughts in Kushina's head as her face is now the same color as her hair, just like a red tomato with some smoke coming out from her ears while she has her hands covering her face. Why did I give him my arg? Thought Kushina, but then she saw Naruto hold on her panties tightly in his hand, after taking another staring at her panties for a while, with his face blushing. The blonde then decided to put it into his pocket before he stated to train. At least Naruto-chan likes his reward. Several hours later, it is now evening and from Team 9 went into the forest until now, 8 hours has passed. Sitting on one of the branches, Kushina quietly enjoying her free time for reading a short novel, Icha Paradise, where she gets all her ideas of rewards from. With sometimes her face is blushing and several times she almost throws the book away or just try destroy it, but after reconsider back and forth she still need the book to improve the bonds between her and her precious Naruto-chan. Hawk, I did it, exclaimed an excited blonde as this caught Kushina's attention. Just when she tried the 10th time throwing the book away, and decided to check on the result, Kushina kept the book in the pocket into her Jonin vessel before shunshin to Naruto. Ka-sama, I did it, Naruto exclaimed happily as he showed Kushina his training result. Naruto-chan. This normally will take at least a week to do it, and you are telling me that you managed to learn the first step within a day? Kushina asked with surprise as she recalled her training with Minato, the creator of this jutsu. She herself took at least 5 days to master this technique. Well, just give me another water balloon, Ka-sama, I will show you. The blonde said with excitement and had Kushina pass a water balloon to Naruto, Just like what Naruto said just after he concentrated for several seconds, the balloon exploded. Incredible. Incredible, Naru-chan. Now it was the turns that Kushina gets very excited as she pulls her Naru-chan into her embrace and hugs him tightly while pressing her on his chest. I am so proud of you, Naru-chan, Kushina said as she placed several kisses on Naruto's cheek and made the blonde blush a bit. Now let's head back, shall we? Naru-chan. Halfway back to Tazuna's house. What do you want for dinner, Naru-chan? Kushina asked Naruto as they were on their way back to the house. With the success in Naruto's training, Kushina's doubts and worries for her Naru-chan may be hiding something from her were all gone now. Well, maybe fish. But just when they both took another step forward, there was a person standing on the tree that was not far from them, quietly inspecting the Uzumakis like a hunter. Almost in the same time, both Uzumaki have also sent the chakra signature and caused them to half. With both of their shinobi instincts kicked in, Kushina quickly gave Naruto hand signs, ordered him to go left side and she will go right and meet up at the person's location. Giving a nod, Naruto pulls out his kunai while Kushina pulls out her sword slowly and carefully. Both shinobi creep softly to the person's location. Now, Kushina exclaimed after both of them were in position, and almost instantly Naruto appeared just in front of the man with his kunai cloak in the wind element, and Kushina appeared just behind, cutting the person's head in the same time. Unexpectedly, the man exploded into crows and took form again on the tree. We meet again, Naruto-kun. You. The blonde hissed with anger as the person in front of him is the person that he less wishes to see now, Uchiha Itachi. I am not here to fight but to inform you something, Itachi said as he exploded into crows again just after Naruto's wind-cloaked chakra kunai was once again thrown toward him. What do you want, Itachi? Kushina asked. She was almost ready to go into her tail beast form, but the next thing Itachi said almost caused her heart to stop beating. Why did you choose to hide the truth from him, Kushina-san? Was the simple question of Itachi, but Kushina's face turned all white. You do remember, right? Along with you I was the several presented family members when the marriage ceremony took place. Questioned Itachi as Kushina can't think of anything to answer the question. Don't listen to him, Ka-sama. Naruto yelled loudly and brought Kushina back to reality again. I wouldn't let you hurt Ka-sama. Not this time. The blonde hissed in anger and activated his Sharingan before turning into Mangekyo, inspecting every move Itachi took. Seems like you have successfully unlocked the Mangekyo, Naruto-kun. Itachi said with a stoic face, as he looked at Naruto's Mangekyo, which is like a three-edged shuriken with the blades all linked together into a circle. I have finished my mission at here then, I will see you in the future, Naruto-kun. Itachi said, without giving any chances for both Naruto and Kushina to make any action. His body once again exploded into crows and fly away. Damn it! Naruto yelled furiously, but for Kushina, she was in deep thought and had worry fill her mind. Tazuna's house. After dinner, the sky had darkened and moonlight was illuminating the night sky with silence covering the small island, indicating that most people were sleeping now. Same could be said for Tazuna's house as everyone has a busy day, but for our crimson hair Uzumaki, it was another story. Sitting alone in the living room, Kushina was still up drinking to her heart's content. She had hazy eyes and red cheeks, clear evidence that she had been drinking for a while. It was quite ironic really that for an island with so little food, alcohol seemed to be available in abundance. After dinner, Kushina decided to stay up and had been drinking to forget about what Itachi said in the woods. Sure, she didn't regret her action as all she had done was to protect Naruto, and it was the last wish that Miko-ne-chan wanted her to protect Naruto from the mysterious villain that was responsible for Minato's death. At first, taking care of Naruto is just simply to honor the last wish of her family figure, but after taking care and watching Naruto grow up, she slowly forgets how much Naruto has been affecting her emotions from the baby to now the almost perfect hero she wishes to marry to. She knew that she would need to tell Naruto about his true heritage one day, but what will happen between them afterward? Will he be hating her and never want to see her again? Or will he run away and leave her alone and empty in this world again? He hates me. Kushina mumbled with tears running down her eyes and has her head lay on the table while mumbling and crying softly. Ka-sama. Seeing that his mother still isn't in the bedroom, decided to look for her just in case she meets some trouble. Naru-chan. Kushina mumbled out from the living room, which caught Naruto's attention. Ka-sama, have you been drinking for the whole night? The blonde asked as he saw the several empty bottles that laid on the floor. Drinking? No, I haven't drank. Kushina replied with her mind complete a mess. Let's get you back to the room first, Ka-sama. Naruto suggested and carried Kushina in bridal style while having her hands automatically land over his shoulder and accidentally show her cleavage to Naruto, showing that she isn't wearing a bra underneath her shirt. Naru-chan. All right, I am here. Naruto replied as he opens the door before softly puts Kushina onto her tatami bed, but when he was going to close the door, Kushina suddenly pulls on his leg. Don't leave me, Naru-chan. Please. Kushina whispers as she holds on to Naruto's right leg with her dear life. Ka-sama. After closing the door, Naruto softly kneels down beside Kushina and pulls her hair that was covering her face to the side and is surprised that she has tear marks. Ka-sama, what happened? Please don't leave me, Naru-chan. Kushina mumbles as she lunges toward Naruto and tackles him onto his tatami bed. Please, I won't leave you, Ka-sama, not in a million years. Naruto answered, and this caught Kushina's attention and he looked at Naruto's face. Really, I promise, I love you, Ka-sama. The blonde assures, as he pulls Kushina into his embrace. In that moment Kushina was being filled by joy and happiness, and all her negative thoughts all disappear at that moment. Even when she is in her drunken state, she still smiles happily. Naru-chan. Kushina whispers as she gently pushes Naruto backward and stands up before falling down on her tatami bed. I love you too. The Uzumaki replied as in sitting position she lightly touched her own thigh and slowly traced upwards towards her clothed crotch. After a few gentle caresses she cupped her still covered cunt before she stuck 2 fingers of her other hand into her mouth to stop herself from moaning out loud. Ka-sama, please look at me, Naru-chan. Kushina moaned as she brought both her hands up and grabbed both of her through her t-shirt and stated to squeeze them. Slowly tracing upward, Kushina had both her hands on her tits while rubbing them and pinching her hardened nipples with her thumb and index finger as she licked her lips. She slowly moved both her hands down her sides until she could cup her own tight with heavy breath. Do you like what you see? Asked Kushina as she reached the bottom of her shirt and pulled it up, letting her jiggle to display for the boy, not the man she loved. Do you love me, Naru-chan? Kushina asked as she then proceeded to pulls down her pants, and now left only with her white lace panties, Kushina crawled toward Naruto. Touch me, Naru-chan. Moan out Kushina as she then directs Naruto's hands onto her while enjoying the hands of her lover that squeezing and pulling on her nipples. Ah, Naru-chan. Kushina continued to moan out as she then grabs Naruto's hand and slowly bring it south until it reaches her clothed holy place and has his hand softly brush through it before bringing it up and kisses his hand. I want you, Naru-chan. Kushina said as she let go of Naruto's hand and went for the hem of her panties and decided to pull it down. Ka-sama, but was being stopped by Naruto grabbing her hands. Why? Why, Naru-chan? Don't you want me? Asked Kushina in a sobbing voice. Is not that Ka-sama? Said the blonde as he pulls Kushina into his embrace and hugs her tightly. I love you. And I do want you, but not now, not when you are clearly not in your clear mind. The blonde answered, I wish to have you. When you are willing to do it with me. When we can both enjoy the pleasure. Said the blonde while hugging Kushina, who has the Uzumaki to smile happily and hugs tightly on Naruto. I love you, Naru-chan. To be continued.